What's going on, everybody? Welcome to show number 74. Today we'll have a lot to talk about, especially in the college football world. NFL starts this coming weekend, starting on Thursday. And then, of course, we'll talk about Cyclone Georgia, all the other good teams that has been performing, some unimpressive teams too, I should say, i.e. the state of Florida.
Wow.
ACC.
Wow.
So
for one ACC team.
We'll talk about all that. It's great to be back too. Been gone for a couple of weeks.
Virginia Tech, not bad either.
Yeah. Let's go and get started. Same before. What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for looking for our podcast on iHeartRadio and iTunes, but also listen to our show tonight. Show number 74, Border Battle. We got a lot to talk about tonight. On the table today, we have Gary.
Yo, what's up?
We have Wabi.
Great to be back on the Walk-On.
We got Brandon.
What's up?
We got Opie.
What's up?
Wearing his nice Virginia Tech orange there. And then also for myself, great to be back. Been gone for a couple weeks, but I'm here for good now. So it's great to be back here at the table. Make sure you follow us on our podcast on iTunes and iHeartRadio and SoundCloud, Google Play, and Spotify. And then also find us on our website at freethinkersradio.com. And then also share us. Make sure you comment throughout the night on our Facebook Live broadcast. Plenty to talk about as for college football with South Carolina, Clemson. Of course, we're here in South Carolina, so we'll talk about them and some other teams that perform over the weekend. And then some teams that will be having big matchups this coming weekend in the college football world. And then also NFL gets started. So we'll talk about some NFL teams that could make some noise here and there. And then also on the show tonight, we'll talk to Allen University's head football coach, Teddy Keaton. As you know, if you're here in the Columbia area, Allen University started their football program at Allen University for the first time in many years. So
That's 2005.
Yeah, still many. So it's good to have football back at Allen University. They're doing pretty good getting that program back to where it needs to be. So we'll talk to him later on the show. We'll also have Clemson Shat, and then No Love, then followed by Coach Fry at the very end. So make sure you stay tuned for the rest of the show from there. Let's go ahead and get started with Pick 6. No surprise. Let's start with the very first topic, Nike. They're having some backlash. Colin Kaepernick was on the 30th anniversary Nike ad, voicing his opinion about, it makes you go out and you sacrifice everything, not in his words, but in what we saw. And a lot of people is taking pretty much to heart for what he said on the Nike ad and what Nike is doing. They cut off the Nike check, burning shoes. And I was like, hey, wait a minute.
With people feet still in them.
Actually, there was one person who had their shoes still on, their body, set the shoes on fire, and now his feet is messed up for life, pretty much. Is it?
They vetted this thing before. I mean, they knew there was going to be some backlash on this, so it's not like they didn't prepare for this. So initially, of course, their sales are going to go down, but when it comes time for Christmas and those kids want the newest pairs of Nike that's out there, it's going to go right back up and even more.
Continue to watch the stock was down $2.60. It dropped 3.16% today. So continue to watch the stock.
I mean, it's like a $10 billion company. I mean, I think they can lose a few dollars.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they'll be fine.
I think it's gonna make a big impact. Most of this money comes from the urban areas anyway. So, and then also you got a big endorsement in the NBA world, NFL world, NCAA world. So for them to think they're gonna lose money, they're gonna find ways to make more money. If not here in the country, around the world, because they're pretty effective around the world.
I've seen a lot of people replacing the Colin Kaepernick picture with like Pat Tillman saying, "Oh, what about the veterans? What about the real heroes?" I mean, what are people doing for the real veterans anyway? I mean, people always bring up the veterans in these arguments, but what are they actually doing to support the veterans?
Well,
and a lot of times they kind of slander Pat Tillman's name. He didn't die in like a heroic battle. I mean, he died by friendly fire. So I'm not sure why his name is always used.
Well, he gave up the NFL lifestyle to go fight, so that's probably why.
That's understandable, but I mean, it's not like he died like in like combat.
All right.
He died from another patriot.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you because it was combat, but we have people that die in friendly fire in just about every war we've been in.
That's true,
so
but their names shouldn't be used in the argument that they use against somebody like Colin Kaepernick. That's my main point with this is that.
No, I don't think they should try to compare one against the other, but I'm just saying in a combat environment, You know, I was 6 years in the military. I'll tell you, when the bullets start flying, sometimes you don't know where those bullets are coming from. So you just got to try to protect yourself and protect your troops.
But you know how some people like to, put things into unnecessary places.
Yeah.
First, Pat Tillman trying to relate to the whole Nike ad. You got people in there that say, "Oh, some of the veterans were not approved." First of all, Kaepernick met with a veteran to see what would be the best way to actually protest what was going on for social injustice. So for them to be making up stuff just to, compare one to the other is pretty much, unnecessary. And it's pretty much take away from the main fact of what he was doing to what a lot of other people started from, the White House to now here. It's totally changed the whole meaning of what Kaepernick is trying to put out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I just hope it just keeps the conversation moving and in the forefront so that people know that, yes, there is social injustice out there, and there are ways that you can protest peacefully and try to get your point across. So,
well, how much longer can we keep having conversation? I mean, we've had conversation for decades now. I mean, eventually it needs to be action. We haven't had that.
Well, we'll see how this NFL season goes. It's going to be, penalties to go along with taking a knee in the game now. So let's see.
I think penalty.
Yeah, there's 15-yard penalty, unsportsmanlike
stuff. That is absurd.
You take a knee.
Yeah.
So.
Next topic, staying inside the Nike world. A lot of people believe that Kaepernick will get a shoe deal and close deal with Nike from what happened. Report that says Nike is not in no way pursuit of trying to do a shoe deal close for Kaepernick, but in history they supported Tiger Woods. In the article that I saw, they supported Tiger Woods after his downfall, Kobe after his downfall, and now Kaepernick. So we look at the whole world rim, they pretty good as for supporting stuff, or people should I say, after certain issues arise.
I think what are shoe sales for NFL? When Nike sells shoes, it's for basketball players. So now they may sell some clothing in his name, but shoe sales, that's mainly for basketball. But
if he were to do it, most people that would get would be the people that in full support of Kaepernick in the first place. So I don't think nobody, out the blue to say, "Hey, I'll go get them Kaepernicks today" when they come out.
That's true. But what I think Nike also needs to worry about now, there are several lawsuits pending for their treatment of women as far as salaries, things of that nature. And then also,
that's your phone. That thing is loud as mud. I thought I was going to heaven.
They're still dealing with this thing of where these shoes are made. So Nike still has some stuff that's ongoing. So they need to watch out for this. But I think their sales are going to come right back up when it falls down to it.
Yeah.
If my nephew says, "Hey, I want a new pair of Jordans for Christmas," and I said, "Look, if that's going to be your only gift, I'm not going to give you 10 gifts. Then I'm going to buy him a new pair of Jordans." That's what I'm going to do.
True. Let's go to the next topic. Urban Meyer, he's in the middle of a 3-game suspension. If you saw the Ohio State game this past weekend, he scored over 77 points. Yeah. He returns to practice this week amid a 3-game suspension. This happened over a little break. Urban Meyer was suspended for 3 games for in a way, hiding information about, what happened with the assistant coach and his wife and all that good other stuff, I'd say. Yeah. And they survey is pretty much soft on giving him a 3-game suspension, or you feel like more should be done?
If you're suspended for 3 games, that should mean you're away from the team facilities, practice, the games, all that. He shouldn't be returning this early. I mean, that's way too soon. It's only been 1 week.
Yeah, he's still the voice every day except for on Saturday for 3 weeks. So it's still having a great impact on the game plan.
And I'm pretty sure, who are the teams that are playing after this game they just played?
They have TCU in week 3, so that actually could be a tough one without Urban Meyer on the sidelines.
But that's a 3-game check he's missing, all right?
Yeah, they got Rutgers coming up, and then they have, I want to say, TCU at the end. And after that, they got Tulane, Penn State, Indiana, Minnesota. So, is he missing key games? Here and there, maybe. TCU at the very end of the 3-game suspension, but I think more should have been done.
One board member definitely thinks more should have been done because he resigned and said, we should not have condoned this at all. He should have been gone.
Big Ten,
I look at it as no different from the Joe Paterno and Jared Sandusky incident, honestly. If you know this is out there, why wouldn't you do something to to prevent it from happening.
Well,
Yeah,
he
and
said-
he always comes out with the statement after the fact when he could, when you're live at the press conference, you had a chance to,
He says he
apologize
didn't.
to Courtney.
But okay, Robbie, you're the married guy on this channel. So now, if your wife told you a couple of years ago she got messages and she tried to help the young lady, and this time around she got messages and texted her back that said, "Yes, I'm going to do everything that I can to help you." As the wife of that coach, you think she's not going to have told you what was going on? She did the first time
That's what
around.
Urban Meyer wants us to believe, but I'm not believing it for a second.
No.
See, I don't believe it. I don't believe it either.
Yeah. Am I wrong? Did Ohio State give him the 3-game suspension, not NCAA?
Right, it's
That's
Ohio
correct.
State.
Ohio State.
So you need
now.
NCAA should have done more.
They should have stepped in as well. But if it would have been the player selling his autographed jersey, then they would have stepped in and suspended him for a longer period of time. So
Yeah, I don't know if NCAA has much jurisdiction, but I mean,
They do.
he's got to go out and recruit now. So he's damaged. Clemson's already picked up a guy decommitted from Nashville, decommitted from Ohio State after this, already committed to Clemson today. So, I mean, this kind of thing is going to continue. He's going to have to go and sell his program to mothers, and I just think it's beginning of the end.
Well, for all you Cowboys fans, Ezekiel Elliott's father was out there protesting in favor of him, so he's supporting him.
Yeah.
Opie.
I mean,
Win
like
at
I
all
said,
costs, right? Win at all costs.
At some point, other people's business is just other people's business. What you do, how you handle it, is always gonna get thrown in there.
Yeah.
It's you get this is a deep conversation because it can go far left, far right. So, yeah.
Well, the Columbus Police Department, they have to take a little bit of blame as well. They had this information and didn't follow through with
comment.
it as well.
True. Next one, Rick Pitino. I don't know if y'all remember him from the Louisville days. I know Louisville knows him well. In a recent interview, he believes that his coaching career might be done. Nah, duh. But
Definitely should be.
he said it may be done. Quotation.
It's over.
Yeah, I think after all he did and news out today, more people might be involved with what happened there at Louisville. But he believes that his coaching career is maybe done. So comments on that one.
I mean, if it is, I mean, it's necessary. I mean, he put it on himself.
Yeah.
Isn't he in his 70s?
Yeah, sex scandal with
Yeah.
direct involvement, sex scandal with indirect involvement. I mean,
Late 60s or 70s.
Late
Just-
60s, early 70s.
just write your book and go away.
Yeah, I mean,
Try to make some more
so,
money. He's got plenty of money, but
he's not a
still.
Coach K or Jim Boeheim who can basically stay at their schools until whenever. So he needs to give it up. No other school. He's damaged goods.
Yeah.
And then last on this, Ryan Howard, a Philly great for the Philadelphia Phillies. He's calling it quits. He's now retiring after a long career with the Philadelphia Phillies and, getting to the World Series, all that stuff. Hall of Fame, possibly?
No.
Why not?
Now, he did win the MVP in 2006, but he had some brushes there with steroid talk. Now, I'm not saying that it happened, but he was a home run hitter, but he struck out quite a bit.
I think after they was led to the World Series, that's when his career started getting on the decline. So a lot of people pretty much forgot about him after some number of times. But I believe that he could at least be considered. Probably.
But that's the hardest sport to make the Hall of Fame, man. So
There is no way.
I don't see a
He
chance.
is not, he's not even close.
I always question it. Are y'all saying that far as like a fan standpoint or as for somebody that's played?
Probably a fan standpoint.
And for me, that's like double-ended sword because it's like I want to see home runs. So whatever you got to take to give me home runs.
Ryan Howard's not a home run person. I know that, especially over the last few years. We're going to come back. College football. We're going to talk about that. So stay tuned right here on Walk-Ons.
So I never understood the argument with baseball.
Hey, Sarah.
Like baseball, football, even like from my aspect, I should be the one crying cheater because I played. But like as a fan, I'd be like, why are you like? What are you complaining about? You getting the
I mean, if that person is playing against your team, they cheated.
Well, to me, it doesn't matter. I mean, now I just said there was talk. They never found him guilty.
No, I'm just
of
saying
anything.
just in the whole complete scheme of stuff because when they talk about steroids, you're talking about that era when it's probably my mic.
Yeah, just make sure all your wires plugged in.
Kygo
Is it plugged in now? Hello. Hello.
You don't have to hit it, but
That's what she said. But I never understood that when it came to a point. It's like the '60s. It was in to do all these things to experiment. In the culture of sports, it was in to do steroids. So the era that they tried to market to target certain players, and then find out everyone's doing it. Now you want to shame people. It's chewing tobacco on the sidelines. I'm just saying a culture like. For me,
they wanted a home run. So I mean, everyone was pulling for Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire back in the day. Now they're being vilified for basically bringing fans back to baseball. People wanted the long ball.
True.
So
welcome back to the show, everybody. Make sure you follow us on our podcast on iHeartRadio and on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify. Make sure you find us on our website at freethinkersradio.com. And then make sure on every Friday we have High School Game Day. We have every Friday we feature the game of the week. This week we are looking to see where we'll be at, so we should know by Thursday. So we'll let everybody know what's going on. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Gary, I don't know if you want to know this, but Serena Williams is winning.
Yes, I saw that she took the first set 6-4.
She's winning 4-2 right now in the second set.
Who's she playing?
All right, Pliskova.
Pliskova, yeah.
Who is that?
She's number 9 right now in the U.S. Open.
Yeah, see, she took out Serena 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And but as I said last week, since the French Open, Serena did have some problems with a little bit of weight. And she did what she needed to do to get herself back into shape, and you see she's putting it on some of these women out there in the U.S. Open.
What's her record in the U.S. Open?
Pretty good
overall record.
Yeah, it's pretty.
88-11.
Yeah, so this is her tournament.
I really
pretty
think
much
she
so.
can win this one.
Pretty much. I
really want to see though.
I want to see her win it.
I really want to see. I know she lost today, but Sloane Stephens versus Serena Williams. I think Serena probably.
That's the other woman.
Yeah, the other woman. But she lost today.
Yes.
In 2 sets, I believe. So
right. Now she won the championship last year, and a couple of years ago she made her mark or her name by beating Serena in the Australian Open a couple of years ago.
Open, yeah.
Yes.
But
she wasn't ranked at the time.
She was number 3 in the U.S. Open right here.
She was ranked number 3 this year, but a couple of years ago when she
wasn't ranked. She was like 100, 200 or something.
Right. Well, she was coming back from an injury, but went all the way.
So
anything can happen with tennis. That's 1-on-1. So you having a bad day. Oh well. Didn't your boy go down?
Federer.
Yeah.
Yes, he went down last night, but it's been hot as heck out there, and he wilted. But a lot of players have wilted in the heat the last couple of days here up in New York.
Let's get to the college football world. A lot of good games happened over the weekend. A lot of not so happy games happened for the state of Florida, but we'll talk about that. You need to know, love, Sim. I got them just for them. I promise you. Miami, Florida Atlantic, Florida State. Oh,
yeah. Wow. Who was picking Florida Atlantic last week?
Yeah.
Who wants to fess up to that?
I did not know.
Didn't the whole coaching staff?
I didn't pick them. I thought it was going to be a better game.
And who responded immediately on
I thought Lane Kiffin was going to have something.
Oh, that's what Lane Kiffin at. No,
there's still major separation in the line of scrimmage.
USC.
I mean, he wasn't terrible.
He was at no USC. He was at Tennessee.
Who at Alabama to help?
Yeah, he coached USC.
I mean, he was a coordinator. I mean,
okay, but you ain't got to do nothing but one job. Now you got many jobs.
I mean, he was really good at it. They had the best offense they had in years.
As one job. Now you got 11 million jobs.
I mean, but he's done an okay job.
He did.
Florida
He did a good
yeah.
job down there.
They just played a better team. It's still early for that program.
True.
Yeah, he just stepped up the competition and got knocked down.
Yeah.
That was a paycheck.
True.
Well, speaking of paychecks, one upset that happened, Nichols defeated Kansas.
Yeah.
A Big 12 school.
Appalachian State almost beat Penn State.
Penn State.
Is that
Nichols got
$450,000
to go to Kansas and beat them.
Is that really an upset?
One school got $850,000. Was it? I thought it was $850,000.
I saw $450.
$450.
Mm-hmm.
One school got $850,000 and they won. I forgot what team that was though.
It's not an upset, man. Them guys, you D1, you go to play. That's just what people view it as. And you probably do have more talent, so it's not necessarily talent. It was just they got out coached.
Was it 2 years ago?
Kansas,
Nichols gave Georgia
Yeah.
Like a 3-point game or something.
True.
South Carolina almost lost what a year, last year to who?
La
That team?
Tech.
Yeah.
we ain't talk about last year. This year. Now.
I'm just saying about teams that y'all won. You really wouldn't want to talk about if y'all lost.
Cyclone has this, past histories of struggling against FCS schools.
A lot of teams do.
No Citadel.
There's a lot of teams that do. A lot of small schools.
Well, you'd be surprised how many good FCS teams out there that could beat the FBS.
I haven't seen it happen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Kansas is pretty bad. Let's just face
They are
it.
bad.
I mean, they're bad.
If you saw the fans after they lost to Nichols, boy, they washed out that door. I ain't gonna promise you. Another team that washed out the door is Florida State. They lost to who was the team? Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech.
And
New uniforms, new spirit, new
the
coach.
uniforms look good. The helmet look good. I like the little shade.
I don't know if I'm one of the people because I've seen Virginia Tech firsthand, and I know the system. I'm Virginia Tech fanatic, whatever, yada yada yada. But I'm impressed with the defense.
Yeah.
That defense was supposed to be young.
Talking for Florida State.
No, for Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
They lost a lot of
ball
safety.
too. Got a little block kick.
So that's scary because they offense look. The offense was supposed to be good, and the defense was supposed to be questionable.
Yeah, they had a lot of young talent on
A
defense.
lot of freshmen and sophomores. Yeah, so
Those
that
guys are stepping up though.
I always say this when you get handed the keys to a program like that people always expect so much. But Taggart, I thought they did a good job. They just our defense was better, and they capitalized on a lot of mistakes early, and that was the only difference in the game.
Yeah, well, this is a big transition when you go from Jimbo Fisher to Willie Taggart. Willie Taggart, he likes to run no huddle, fast pace.
And
Jimbo's pro style. And
the Virginia Tech just wouldn't let them get into that fast tempo. They took away the run and made them have to pass.
and some guys falling out with these mysterious injuries.
After
You seen it?
after that field goal in the second quarter for Florida State, they did not really make things happen.
Wide right.
Most of the plays was either fumbles, turnover on downs.
No, they was getting hit.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech played real good defense.
So would you consider Virginia Tech to be the biggest threat to Clemson in the ACC?
It's too early
As
to
of
say.
right now.
As of right now.
As of
right
week
now,
one.
yes.
It's as of right now.
I mean,
But just like the ACC, you look good week 1, week 2. Then after that, week 7,
Miami never played.
lose to Duke.
People always put Miami never played good away.
Miami should never ever been in the top 10. Maybe top.
No, they
25.
should, but they just don't
No.
play good away.
Mm-mm.
Not since the glory days when Miami was Miami.
Mhm.
Since
I
Miami come
have
back
put
into the
Miami in
picture,
there.
they have not played well outside of.
The way they lost to Clemson.
They've got a 4-game losing streak.
The way they lost to Clemson, the way they lost in the
That's right.
playoffs, and now how they lost to who they played
LSU.
LSU.
Mhm.
It's
LSU is just a
Miami
better
is pretty
team.
much- LSU is a better team, but Miami is not showing me nothing as they could be a great team.
Yeah.
Maybe 8-4, maybe a 9-3.
That's
I
what I
was
see.
even
I mean,
I expect
they're
them-
on a 4-game losing streak right now.
Yeah.
Like Robbie said, they finished the season
And they lost a Pitt too.
awful
Yeah, they
last
did.
year.
I mean, it's a Mark Ritt-led team. I mean, we've seen what he does in big games. 9-3, 8-4.
We ain't gonna say that, but
Proof is in the pudding.
we gotta get to the Cyclones, Georgia and Clemson and Texas A&M this week. Cyclones defeated Coastal Carolina 49-15.
It's a really solid win.
Bentley 22 of
Was it
29,
really a solid
250
win?
yards, 4 touchdowns. I mean, you gotta win. We supposed
Yeah,
to win.
they did what they needed to do.
Yeah. They had 557 yards, total yards.
Look good.
So, and Debo Samuel, he's back. He looking good.
He look
Made
great.
one
He don't look
catch.
7
good.
catches, 56 yards.
And that one-handed touchdown. Yeah.
Defensively, they look pretty decent. Yes, they got down the field a couple times here and there, but they got to pretty much get that settled. Because Georgia will be a lot better offense than what Coastal Carolina did. So they got to make sure they keep the big plays from happening. And I believe Cyclone they a lot better than last year, I should say. So
Yeah.
thoughts on for this week for Cyclone Georgia?
Well, they get them at home, so they'll have a chance to win at home.
Yep, they got about as much chance I got to win the lottery.
Okay.
I mean, it's
3:30
a
game.
home
3:30 game,
game, it's a
CBS.
rivalry game.
Yeah.
It can go either way.
I got
We only lost 24-10
I
last
got
year.
as about as much chance as winning the lottery as they got.
Of course, he would say that. Huh?
No, I'm
Well, I
serious.
picked Georgia in the preseason, so I'll stick with my pick, Georgia by 7, but I think it'll be a good game.
It's gonna be a close game. I would definitely say that.
Look at Georgia by a touchdown.
Yeah, South Carolina refs here, so they're not gonna let it get out of hand. I got it 17.
Gary,
South Carolina refs.
First of all, if Jeff watching this, I'm gonna take a ticket because I know he ain't here, so I want that ticket.
Exactly.
Jeff.
Streets. The ticket's going back home with me right now. So I'm
No,
just
you
going
get that to me, Gary.
I'm just going to tell you that right now.
I'd love to be there this Saturday.
But hey, I see a high scoring game. I don't see the defenses holding.
You see a high scoring game.
I see a high scoring game. I mean,
You see it. What ball you looking in?
you don't see a high scoring game,
No, I'm looking at maybe 21-17 around that range.
34.
Who you got
something.
winning?
I see.
Yeah.
I see
I got
about
Georgia
30,
winning.
31, 24.
Who you got winning now?
I got Georgia. Just because mistakes. I feel like it's gonna be something that trick. It's gonna be a close game. Everybody gonna be in and gonna be like, I can hear Gary going, see, I told you, or tweeting, and as soon as it come out, it's a fumble or it's a penalty. It's gonna be something that gives Georgia. We're not good enough to not have miscues. Now they got to play. They got to play. So I mean, if they don't, it's gonna be a shootout. I don't see that. I don't think Georgia that they got too much talent that they look no penalties. When I watched the game, I'm pretty sure they had some, but when I watched for a brief second, no penalties. They well oiled. They run. They got three running again. Once again, they got 3-headed running back. Fromm looked good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it, but they South Carolina defense does look good. I like what I seen up front. I like the linebacker. I like our guy in the middle. I can't think his name right now.
TJ Brunson.
He's everywhere. From there, it gets shaky for me. But
Well, Bentley looked good. The receivers look good.
Nope,
I
no
mean,
rest.
there's Smith, Edwards,
They look loose.
Debo.
Which is good,
Yeah.
I mean, those are 3 quarterly receivers. The backs look good. All 3 backs got some carries, made some good yardage. Offensive line, which I thought was going to be a question mark. Now, again, this is Coastal, but they gave them some holes to run through.
this is the same offensive line that
push them around.
Yeah,
I
but-
mean, Coastal's young team, and they're 3-9 last year. So,
But this the same
I mean,
offensive
it was
line
the
that
first year in FBS, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and Coastal, not Coastal, but the offensive line y'all got coming back was the one that was beat up and bruised and kind of kept it together. I think that y'all best asset and that's underrated is your offensive line because they have already been tested.
Offensive line was good. But what I really wanted to see was how fast they would go. I don't think they went as fast.
That's as fast as
used
they're gonna
to.
go. That's
No,
as-
they
I think
can
they
go
go
faster.
faster.
They
They
can
go
go faster.
If they go any faster, they're gonna make some mistakes. Let them stay where they
We'll
at.
see. We'll see. We'll talk more after we get done talking with Coach Teddy Keaton, head football coach at Allen University.
Teddy.
So stay tuned right here on the Walk-Ons.
Yeah, they're going to have to go faster than what
They're not.
they did last week.
That's as fast as they're gonna go.
We'll see. I don't think they went as fast as they could.
I don't want them to. If y'all got a chance to win, they need to stay right where they were at.
they say you have to average 5.6 yards per play if you're going to run it fast.
Hey, Sarah, for calling him now.
But the problem is Muschamp will get conservative.
Yeah.
You know, if
How you,
Tapping on
how
that
you gonna
drop.
run something fast if you can serve?
well, the problem is
Tapping on that brake.
You get a couple of
Okay.
3 and outs, then he's going to want to. Okay, I'm going back
Hey,
to those
Coach Keaton.
holes.
Hey, hold on a second.
Yes.
Hey, before you come back from commercial break, all right?
Carolina Chris, and you're listening to the Walk-Ons.
All right.
I think it's radio.
We were talking about USC, so we get kind of conversating on that one pretty long.
What the Clemson quarterback situation gonna be like? They gonna keep your boy Bryant? Or
I like Trevor Lawrence a lot more than
It'll
Kerry
be
Bryant.
even for a while until they separate.
Yeah. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Once again, find us on our podcast on iTunes and iHeartRadio. Find us on our website at freethinkersradio.com. You can find us on Instagram at the Walk-Ons Radio, and then on Facebook and on Twitter, and also throughout the night. Make sure you send your comments. If you got any questions, any comments, any kind of things you want to say to us while we're on the air, make sure you go and send those in right now on Facebook Live. And then also share us. Make sure you get us out there so we can get more content to y'all the best we can. The Walk-Ons Radio. You can catch us every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock p.m. on Facebook Live. On the phone today, we have Allen University's football coach, Coach Teddy Keaton. Allen University brought back the football program after a long number of years. And over the weekend, they got the victory over Columbus State, 47-3. So they are now 1-0 after not having football since 2005, I believe. So it's good to have them back here in the football world of Allen University. Coach Keaton, how you doing, man?
I'm doing wonderful, man. How are you doing?
Doing good. Tell us about bringing back the football program at Allen University. What does it mean for the community there?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you to Dr. McNeely, the bishop, and the guys that had the vision, to bring this back, and that even gave me the opportunity to be able to be the chosen one to, research their football program. It means a lot. I think it means a lot to the Allen community. You know, I'm learning I'm kind of learning on the job. I'm an Alabamian guy, so I've been in Alabama most of my life, and I knew nothing about Allen University prior to coming here. So when I got here, you know, you start meeting the older people, and they talk about the history back in the '60s and '70s, and Clyde Hill is one of those guys that kind of reminds you of that, you know, the dominancy they had, you know, the pride that they took into it, and they had a standard. You know, we talk about it all the time. There's a standard that they want to uphold, and we trying to just hope that we can stay on the right side of the standard.
All right, Coach Keaton, I heard that you only had 2 paid assistant coaches on your staff. If that's true, then you talk about a staff that's really all in. These guys are putting a lot of time and effort into something, and they just believe in building their careers from scratch. Tell us about how you have a staff. Tell us about your staff.
The only 2 paid coaches on my staff is me and Coach Brown. Yes, my guys, we put in a lot of hours. I asked a lot of them that, you know, they're putting in sometime 10 to 16, 17 hours a day if we can get them in. We up every morning at 4:30. We have staff meeting. We're on the field at 5:30 in the morning, and we off by 7:45. We have another staff meeting at 9 o'clock in the morning. And then those who can make it and those who have jobs they can't make it. And then we'll rest a little bit, you know, take our individuals, talk to our players, do what we got to do. And then after that afternoon, we'll go back at 3 o'clock. We'll go back to the weight room. And then 4 o'clock, we have meetings. And then at 5 o'clock, we have our walkthrough. And we're back at home by 6 o'clock or 7. And I'm sure they got to watch film too.
Coach, I had a question for you regarding, you know, recruiting as it pertains to HBCUs. You know, historically, HBCU football programs haven't been able to get the best talent in the country. So what kind of challenges does being an HBCU at Allen, does that bring to recruiting? How does that bring a new difficulty to it, or, I mean, how does that work for you?
I defer on that. I think that it all depends on who's leading that program. I don't know if you've been paying attention here lately, like North Carolina A&T, Grambling. Those guys have spectacular talent there. And I think nowadays more kids are opting to come to HBCUs for the opportunity. Back in the day, kids like, you know, they wanted to say, oh, I'll go to Clemson, I'm going to South Carolina. That's going to be your major 5-star guys. But there's a lot of guys that fall in between the cracks, those guys that are maybe no stars, or they come from, as I like to say, those one-horse towns that people just don't want to beat the bushes to go find those guys. I think the only position that is extremely hard to recruit at the HBCU level is the quarterback position. At one point in time, the black quarterback only was given the opportunity to play quarterback at the HBCUs. Now, if you look on most people's roster, they have at least one on their roster, and over at 65 to 80% of those teams have a black quarterback starting. So now the difficult comes to find the kid you find at quarterback at the black college level. He either was a backup, or he was the 3rd string, or he was a guy that you particularly have to develop.
Hey, Coach, how you doing? This is Bryant. My question is a little bit off topic, but what are your plans, you know, 5 years from now? Like, what do you envision doing for the community, being that, you know, you're starting to get acclimated with the surroundings and the school, and you start to get your, you know, your foot wet, and maybe more you win. Like, so what do you see yourself in Allen in the next, you know, coming years coming up, and what are your plans?
Well, we got to, you know, I always say this slogan, win today. We talk about what's important now. Honestly, I've been so busy that I haven't even been able to think 5 years down the road. I started this job January the 3rd, and I haven't had a break since then. I came off a job. I was at Miles College. I was the running back coach. And I went from Stillman as the head coach straight to Miles as the running back coach. And in those times, I had no break, then straight from Miles to here as the head coach. And being that I was the only assistant on the staff, because Tommy didn't join me till July, I recruited the whole football team myself. I had some help from guys, and I had been the recruiting coordinator, and I've been a head coach, of course. So I know a lot of context and different things of that nature. So now we're coaching and you know, our plans are to get more involved in like going and, you know, doing a cleanup around campus and in other programs I've been a part of. We do reading, you know, when Read Across America come, maybe even adopt some kids, you know, and have a big brother, big sister program. I just want my kids, you know, to become productive citizens, go out and know that there's eyes looking up to be just like you, and maybe they can pay homage and do some things for those kids and give them the same opportunity that was presented to them.
Awesome. Next game for Allen University will be against Livingstone College. All their games will be held at W.C. Hawkins Stadium in Irmo, South Carolina. That game will be kicking off at 3 p.m. They're 1-0, so they're looking pretty good, scoring a lot of points, 47-3 against Columbus State. So go out and make sure you check out Allen University Yellow Jackets at W.C. Hawkins Stadium.
Good luck, Coach.
Talk to you soon.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you. You guys have a great one.
You too.
Thank you.
2018 iHeartRadio Music Festival is coming.
Oh, smooth talker. Yeah, you know, I come from Alabama. You know, I'm Alabama. You know,
He missing North Carolina AT. They defeat East Carolina.
They did.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They've been winning. What? That was the first time they turned down the playoffs to play in that bowl.
Yeah. They get more playing in gosh, what's the bowl that the SWAC plays the MEAC
Versus the MEAC.
That's one in New Orleans, right?
What's that now?
Is it one in New Orleans or Atlanta that they play?
That's in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah, they defeated them pretty good. Was it like 28-23, I believe?
Mm-hmm. Good game.
But the AT always been a pretty decent squad, though.
Let's get our blacks back to black schools, black power.
Update: Serena did win her match tonight.
I knew you.
I know you're happy about that. Huh?
Oh
You
yeah,
smiling? You over there smiling?
I'm all in.
She said she gonna wear the cat suit if she gets to the championship.
Yeah, well,
She should.
and that doesn't need to happen.
Look at Gary.
That doesn't need to happen.
Look at
You
Gary.
ready for the Clemson chat?
Yes, we ready for the Clemson. We want to hear about some good teams now.
When that's coming?
we talking about Carolina.
I got that after this.
We want to hear about a good team now.
We'll talk about Clemson.
Talk about these
Get
maybe
ready for
teams
Texas
that
A&M.
could have been and might have, and they might make it.
They shoulda, coulda.
Just like Alabama, they got a quarterback controversy.
Hey, it's better to have a quarterback controversy than a.
It's not controversial.
I always heard if you got two quarterbacks, you don't have any.
Yeah.
Rather have two that can play than none that don't.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Once again, follow us on all of our podcasts, iTunes, iHeartRadio, all the other good ones there. Find us on our website, freethinkersradio.com, and find us on Facebook and on Twitter. And make sure you comment throughout the night on Facebook Live every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Make sure you check us out on Facebook Live. Let's go ahead and play the Clemson chat because we'll talk about Clemson. I say get ready for Texas.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and play that.
I'm Robbie Kiner with this week's Clemson Chat. Today we'll take a look at Clemson's opening week win over the Furman Paladins. Now the big talk coming in had to be the play of the quarterbacks, and Kelly Bryant and Trevor Lawrence both had similar days if you look at their passing numbers. Kelly Bryant was 10 of 16 for 127 yards. Trevor Lawrence, 9 of 15 for 137 yards. But if you look beyond the numbers, you'll see Trevor Lawrence had a quarterback rating of 82.8, and Kelly Bryant's was only 51. If you look at the points produced, you have to give the advantage to Lawrence there as well. He had 31 points in his 5 drives, whereas Kelly Bryant only produced 17 points on his 5 drives. We'll continue to look at this throughout the season, but if Lawrence continues to score more with equal opportunities, look for Lawrence's opportunities to increase. Now, some other freshmen had some nice debuts as well. Darion Kendrick, the wide receiver, had a nice 38-yard catch. Justin Ross had a 15-yard touchdown catch of his own. Braden Galloway had a touchdown catch, had 3 catches altogether. And maybe the most impressive, Lynn J. Dixon had an 89 yards rushing, including a 61-yard rush. So, the defense also very impressive, only allowing Furman 163 total yards. That'll set up the matchup this Saturday night in College Station as the Tigers travel to Texas A&M to take on the Aggies. They won it 59-7 over Northwestern State in their debut last Thursday night. And Dabo Swinney is looking to make it 4 in a row over Jimbo Fisher. So this could be one of the tougher matchups of the season for the Tigers. So we'll have a recap of that one on next week's Clemson Chat. Make sure and join us then, and join us Tuesday night for the Walk-Ons.
Yeah, real team.
That ain't no real team. Robbie with the Clemson chat, focusing on last week's victory over Furman and their upcoming matchup against the Texas A&M Aggies. That's a 7:00 p.m. matchup on ESPN. Look like it's gonna be a pretty good one.
College game day.
Right.
He decided to go with Kelly Bryant for the starting QB against that game.
He went with the senior leadership, and he's got the respect of his teammates. So I think he'll continue to start, and if they perform nearly the same, they'll play about the same. But if Lawrence is going to outperform him, then Lawrence playing time may increase. But I think that it's going to be hard to unseat Kelly Bryant if he's his senior leader. He has respect of his teammates. He might continue to start throughout the season with even if Lawrence's role increases. The Aggies they look good in the first game, but
they played Northwestern.
But they played a nobody, so you don't really know. Clemson played a nobody too, I guess. So we'll see how that.
I guess
we'll see how they match up when they go against each other. But yeah, it was a little bit surprising that Texas A&M was looked like they were hitting on all cylinders that first game, and that Mon, the quarterback, was not as accurate last year as he appears to be this year. So it looks like he's improved some. And
well, that was under Kevin Sumlin, and you saw what happened with him. They gave him the job in Arizona. He loses to BYU. I mean, there was some bad coaching this week.
Oh, Florida State should be one.
Bad coaching.
Yeah. There's one play in particular, not to get off the Clemson subject, but there's one play in particular for Florida. For Florida State game. I think it was at the 5-yard line after that big running play. It was like in the third quarter, fourth quarter.
Oh, when he get posted in the touchdown?
Yeah, you won the ball in the first play, throw a flat route to the running back the second play, call a timeout, then you go do a wildcat trying to run up the middle on third down.
Yep.
It's a lot of little swing passes, a lot of short routes.
Yeah. Like if you're a coach, you're struggling trying to get a touchdown in the first place. Why you can't throw the ball vertical?
Yeah, like I said, there was some bad coaching.
So what's going to be the biggest upset out of these two in-state games? Is it going to be the Aggies over Clemson or?
Don't see it. I don't see an upset in either one. But
I mean, even though Georgia is the better team, I will admit that. If South Carolina beats Georgia, that'll be an upset. If Aggies beat Clemson, that'd be an upset. Yeah. At this point, trying to be real here, because Clemson is the better team than Texas A&M. New coach, players are getting better for Texas A&M. If they beat Clemson, it's gonna be at the 12th man. That's gonna be a tough place to play. Only way Clemson can really struggle if the home field advantage for Clemson for Texas A&M gets it to Clemson's head and struggle.
That's a big place, 100,000. But
I want to see both of them undefeated.
That'd be nice if
and then Clemson win.
Clemson be undefeated.
All right.
This one,
Auburn had a nice win. They beat
they did.
That was a good game.
Yeah,
that was probably the best game this Saturday.
But now Washington kicked themselves in the foot because they can't kick a field goal. They would drive down and miss field goals.
Now look, there's some coaches on the hot seat already.
Yeah,
you got. Now we tried to get Tom Herman here. He turned us down, but he took the Texas job. Now 2 losses in a row
lost to Maryland.
To Maryland. That's 2 years in a row. Then Jim Harbaugh,
9-8 in his last 18 games, right?
Yeah.
UCLA lost
9-9.
9-9.
UCLA lost.
He's one of their native sons. I don't see him making a move.
It's weird
there.
because before the season started, you were seeing on Fox and on ESPN, is he a better coach than Nick Saban? And it was coming out of nowhere. I know this is trying to create conversation.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
But he's been mediocre the last 20 games.
And Desmond Howard picked him to win the national championship.
Who?
Desmond Howard, a former Michigan Wolverine.
Yeah. Oh.
You always going to say that. First of all, Michigan is a scam. I said that before, and it's going to be like that for the rest of the year. Michigan is a complete scam.
They've been one of the more underrated, most overrated programs.
And they're still in the top 25, number 22 at 0-1.
Actually, I want to say they're 14 now, I believe.
They still in the top 25?
They still in the top 25. Well, they're in the 20s now, I believe.
22.
22.
That's still
So
the top 20.
there was number 14 when they played.
South Carolina in the top 25?
That's
Yeah,
right.
number
24.
Number 24 the first time in 4 years.
24 with the bullet.
But
That's what I call it.
Remember last year they was ranked 24 in another poll.
And
That was in the playoff
25
poll.
in the playoff poll before they played Clemson.
They did that for a purpose because Carolina had never been in the top 25 yet.
I think that was after we beat Citadel, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
So they said never been in the top 25.
They were trying to help Clemson out. They were just trying to help Clemson out.
Give him a bone.
But yeah, it's gonna be pretty good games this coming week, especially here in the in-state.
Y'all wanted Herm Edwards?
They want everybody when they got rid of.
Oh no, we didn't want Herman.
Herman.
No. I'm saying Tom Herman.
Oh,
Tom Herman.
Tom Herman.
Where
You sure you wanted him now?
Well, he
No, I'm glad we have who we have.
he beat UTSA 49-7.
Who? Herm?
Herm Everson.
Oh, Herm know what you're talking about.
Where is he at now?
He's at
Arizona State.
Okay.
That's his alma mater.
No.
Yes.
Yes, it
Is
is.
it?
It's his alma
Yes.
mater.
But they have a tough one coming up this week. They're playing Michigan State.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be
That's a tough one.
Good luck with
When we come back, we'll do some no love.
no love.
The state of Florida is my no love this week.
Oh man, that's terrible.
Stay tuned right here on Walk-Ons.
Florida. What about Florida?
Michigan State struggled. Penn State struggled. What's up with the Big Ten?
The Big Ten suck.
Florida's
That's a strong
25.
word.
They're 1-0.
No, they suck.
I mean, there's some quality teams in the Big Ten.
What?
no,
Ohio
this- we
State.
talking
What,
about-
Ohio State and Wisconsin.
That's
maybe.
it.
It's just week one.
No, that's it. Usually we go. We got some Penn State last year with your boy. We was like, hold up,
I mean, I feel like every Power 5 conference is about even these days.
App State took them down to the wire.
I don't feel like there's any one conference that's any better than the
SEC.
other.
Yeah, some are stronger at the top, and some of them are
Yeah.
stronger
Yeah.
top to bottom.
They're all about even with me.
App State should have won that game.
SEC.
Gosh, they gave it away.
I think it's SEC bias.
nah, they front eight better than any other Power 5 front eight.
Yeah, I would take the top 8 teams in the SEC versus any other conference's top 8.
Doesn't matter. It's all
Yeah,
about
top 5.
Well, the ACC
how
don't
your
even
best
talk
teams
right
do.
now. Clemson's all by themselves in the Atlantic Division.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all
I mean,
about
as far as like just
FSU, Louisville, I don't think we're going to get much resistance
Nah.
from those guys this year.
no, Virginia Tech is
Maybe
just,
NC State.
Virginia Tech gonna be
Boston
hard.
College.
They just well coached. They well coached.
Yeah.
But there's no players on that roster you go, wow, we should worry about.
They got freshmen getting experience now. By the time those guys are juniors and seniors.
Oh yeah,
They're gonna be pretty
because they got a front four that look real good.
Mhm.
True. Today I have the no love segment. Watching football the weekend. Glad to have it back, by the way, because baseball way too long, should I say? That's another topic.
No playoffs for the
boring.
Fireflies.
No
No playoffs for the Fireflies. this year.
playoffs.
No Tim
They
Tebow.
going home. Tebow's gone too. I'm not gonna say no more about it because I work for them still. So, but the Fireflies, they are done for the season. Now it's football season now. Y'all know I'm also a high school football coach, so I was glad to be back on the field. 3-0 at Westwood High School. Shout out to the Red Hawks.
Good
Oh,
job.
okay.
Yeah, looking pretty good. We play South Aiken. Not this Friday, but next Friday.
Now,
we
are
got
you a
bye week this
player's
week.
coach, or you like to chew them out a little bit?
He'll chew 'em out.
I'm a player's coach. I try to get rid of these shootout. I use when I coach at R&E and AC4. I just let it go.
Yeah.
But
You put your arm around them and say, "Son,
yeah, I'm gonna settle. I talked to him. I was with the JV today, and you can tell the comparison between a varsity and JV. Like, yeah,
Like night and day.
not gonna say no more about it, but not gonna say no more about it. But believe me, I love where I'm at. Thank you for Coach Kurtz for giving me the opportunity. I know one team, or should I say 3 teams, that needed a big cuss out. Miami, Florida Atlantic, and Florida State. Pretty much the whole state of Florida except for Florida Gators. They defeated Charleston Southern pretty handily over the weekend. But
Central Florida and South Florida still
Central Florida look good
doing
too.
everything."
So let's go ahead and count
Best
them
team
in
in
too.
Florida.
But we think of the state of Florida for football. The first 2 teams that come to mind is Miami and Florida State, period. But the reason why I counted Florida Atlantic in there too, because there's a big reason why. First, for Miami. Now, they lost to LSU over the weekend, 33-17. They did not look good at all. They did score some touchdowns at the end of the football game, but
Garbage time.
garbage times. And the QB for Miami, I
Rozier.
did not trust him at all. He looks scared under pressure. He overthrows the receivers. He thinks he's a running QB.
So
He is not.
The same thing we've been doing since the sophomore year.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they pretty much trust him. I don't trust him. And I believe Miami's going to be a mediocre team. Miami is not back at all. So let's go ahead and
They
put that out
back to where they were last year.
Yep.
At the end of the year.
there.
Slide.
8-4.
Florida State, trash. Complete trash. They did not look good at all for the first 6, 7 possessions,
9,
fumbles, turnover downs, punts. They got down the field one time before, and 3 plays, trash plays. Why you gonna run the ball?
Well, let me ask you now: would that There was some bad reffing in that game too, as well.
Should
I'd
have
rather
had
have
a
bad
touchdown.
reffing than the coaching plays that they had.
But okay,
Should have had a
the
touchdown.
running back that should have been a touchdown.
Right.
But the bad coaching part was we're going to run up here and try to go fast tempo, and then that caused them to get a
And they still
penalty.
could have called. And they still
But they
could have.
still could have called it. So the refs should have known. They had two opportunities to get it right, and they didn't. That touchdown, I don't know. That might have given them some momentum, though.
Well, I just think on that specific play when they did 3 bad plays in a row, I think it got a little bit too conservative.
That offensive line for FSU, though, it doesn't matter. Those guys are going to struggle all year long.
That's why I said we.
So it's a more
they're
offensive
just-
line than Francois.
That's why I said I got to see them
He doesn't have much of a chance back there. Now,
Yeah,
now, he does hold the ball a little too long.
a little too long.
He needs to get rid of it a little quicker. But I just don't see him improving too much.
I think that's the
with
same
that
thing.
O line.
I just say this because I'm a Hokies fan. I don't want to get too ahead of myself because they look. You know what I'm saying? Like it's beginning of the year, they both about even.
Yeah.
But the way the defensive line play, like you said, you either go, well, the offensive line needs some help, or that
Right.
defensive line is really that good.
Yeah.
Because they were back, they was blowing up, they couldn't run, they was getting pressure.
But Bud Foster's been doing that for years.
Oh, yeah.
Rob Spence used to like to throw those little bubble screens. Virginia Tech would eat Clemson up because you're not going to beat them. You're going
No, speed wise, no.
You're not going to beat them with this little short passing game. You got to take some deep shots, and even if it's
I'm with Marcus on that. Mark, like I say, this you spot on. It was a questionable. Because I'm looking at it on both sides. Like, this is Florida State, so I want to see.
I know if you're a Florida State fan, you'll know, like, yes, it's Tiger's first year there. Yes, it'll take some time to get to where it needs to be, but you got to take chances.
You got the talent, though.
You got the talent. Francois is a good QB.
What about the other QB they had?
Sam
Blackman.
guy. Yeah. He's not as good as Francois.
No, I'm just saying, but I don't.
James Blackman.
Is Taggart the man for the job? I mean, he did
Yeah, you gotta
great
give
at
him a-
USF.
Yeah.
Then he went out to Oregon for 1 year.
And he's always been a rebuilder of programs, though. He's never had like a 10, 11, 12 win team. He's always been taking them from 2 to 3 wins up to 8 or 9.
We'll see.
Hey, they're not going to stand for that at Florida State. You'll be out the door.
It's championship bust.
When we come back, I will
ain't getting no
finish
championship.
my no love segment. There's one team that we do need to talk about, and that's Florida Atlantic. Yes, they might be overmatched versus Oklahoma, but I'm gonna tell you a real reason
What?
why they are in no love.
Did
So
you see
stay
that
tuned.
kid from Oklahoma?
Stay tuned right here on the Walk-Ons. I promise you, this will be a good one.
Ugh.
This will be a good one.
Did y'all see him?
Yeah, he's a good one.
I'm going to get into the
Kyler
NFL
Murray.
predictions.
Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
You know, this is
Quarterback.
his last year. He was the 7th pick in the
Baseball.
draft.
Got one more year of football, and he's heading to baseball.
Yeah, he's going to base. They are. Oklahoma might be all right. Their defense finally.
I see them being in the top 10.
Their defense gonna be fine. I don't see no slip ups. They still explosive on offense. Defense a little better. Yeah, I see them back in there. I don't see nobody really can pull in the Big 12 gonna compete with them.
They
I don't see
dominate the
Texas
Big
no more.
12
Texas
year in
not
and year
even-
out.
You look at the Big 12, you got Baylor, who not even decent, Kansas State, ARP. West Virginia, I give West Virginia a big
Okay, well that might be it. And West Virginia look good.
Yeah,
They did look good against Tennessee.
they smoked Smokey.
Boise State's in the top 25.
Yeah, they in the Big 12 or they in the Pac Mountain West.
Mountain West.
Whack.
Who's that?
Whack Conference.
Who's that?
Boise
Boys,
State.
they whack.
Yeah.
Big-
Whack.
Whack. Miami dropped down 14 points, 22. South Carolina, Florida's in the top 25. Michigan State dropped down 4.
Did they win or they lost?
They won the game, but they still
They
Close.
won, but they struggled.
Yeah. Washington only dropped down 3, which I think is reasonable.
Yeah, they played real good. Okay.
And the coach was crying about the officiating.
Ain't that something?
It was tough. That was tough to watch.
The biggest rise in the top 25 was LSU. Well deserved though. They look real good too. I think when they play Alabama, that's gonna be a pretty good one. Welcome back to the show, everybody. We're near the end of the show, so we'll talk about the rest of our topics today, including the NFL. But I do need to finish my top. What was it? No love. There we go.
I'm about to say what?
I need to finish my no love. So Florida, they took on Oklahoma. The talent overmatched by Oklahoma, which is probably try to say expected. Lane Kiffin's there for Atlantic. Looked real good last year. So some people thought it was going to be a pretty good matchup versus Oklahoma. Well, Oklahoma beat them pretty handily. A blowout, should I say. But there's one thing that did came out in the Florida Atlantic world. So apparently, sent by Florida Atlantic University, they said FAU just beat number 7 ranked Oklahoma on their home field. Let's celebrate by helping more FAU athletes. Oops. They sit out at 5:17, knowing that they're getting their behinds waxed right now.
What?
So Florida Atlantic said out to all their fans who pretty much subscribe to their team that FAU just beat Oklahoma, but apparently they did not watch the game.
I think they probably prepared that just in case they won and somebody hit the wrong
No,
button.
they probably won. It's probably like in Tiddlywinks or something. One of the other sports they got. It didn't say what sport, did it? Did it say football or did it?
Number 7 ranked Oklahoma, so I'm pretty sure that
Could have been. It could have been lacrosse. It could have been lacrosse.
There's not no lacrosse.
Badminton.
They don't got no badminton team.
Checkers. it's a lot of sports in college. So I mean,
oops. Nah. I think that's more the Lane Kiffin effect, being cocky at the wrong time.
Yeah.
That's at the right time.
If he fizzles out at FAU, it's his last stop.
No.
Nah. I'm pretty sure more teams will go.
He'll go right back to Alabama.
Yeah. So Alabama.
No, that
so?
relationship with him, Nick Saban is done. It's done.
I think one team that probably go for him if
South Carolina.
No. You think he would return back to SEC?
No. He's damaged goods in the SEC. He might go
out
to
west to California
the Big East or Mountain West.
I don't even think he can.
He can coach Benedict.
Yeah.
You think he coached Miami if they got rid of Coach Ray?
No.
Lane Kiffin probably can relate to Miami players down there,
No, he's a West Coast guy. I don't even know what he's doing here.
Well, you said they should have got Lane Kiffin instead of getting what's his name? That's over there now.
Like FAU can pay some money, right?
Well, they gave him a station,
where else he gonna go? You went to USC. You messed that
Alabama
up.
could pay him more as the OC than what FAU can pay him as a head coach.
He didn't want to be.
It's just that he didn't want to
he
be
don't want to
Nick
get
Saban's whipping boy.
Exactly.
All right, we got NFL picture.
Yep. NFL starts this Thursday. Atlanta takes on Philadelphia.
Yeah.
At Lincoln Financial
Falcons,
Field.
that's what I'm talking about.
That's a 8:20 matchup on NBC. So Atlanta will be taking on Philadelphia. Pittsburgh takes on Cleveland on Sunday. All the rest of the games comes on Sunday. Cincinnati at Indianapolis. Tennessee at Miami. San Francisco at Minnesota. Houston at New England. Tampa Bay at New Orleans. Jacksonville at New York. Buffalo at Baltimore. Kansas City at Los Angeles Chargers. Seattle will be taking on Denver. Washington will be taking on Arizona. Dallas will be taking on Carolina Panthers, by the way. That's 4:25 p.m.
Maybe get Tony Romo to call that game.
He's available. Chicago takes on Green Bay at 8:20 on NBC. And then on Monday, 2 games will be on
Double
ESPN. New York will be taking on Detroit. And then the Los Angeles Rams will be taking on the Oakland Raiders.
I want to see the Raiders. I want to see Sam Darnold as a rookie starting his first game. And I want to see Khalil Mack
with the
Bears. And then I got to see Oakland. I want to see Oakland going to be like without their best defender. They didn't pay him. I want to see what that look like. Then you got John Gruden. I want to see what that offense look like.
I really want to see how Oakland would do this year. With John Gruden being back, which is good for the NFL, I believe.
Sam Darnold.
I mean, when he last coached in 2008 with the Buccaneers, he had a 57 and 55 record with them. I mean, so they're rather mediocre. They have a pretty mediocre roster as well. So I mean, I'm not really expecting much from him this season.
I'm not, but
or going forward.
He's got a ring on his resume.
Yeah, that was
with Tony Dungy's team.
Boy, he took it out of my boy. He took that out of my mouth. Boy.
He's got a ring.
He brought some offense.
Someone still got to coach him though. Someone still got.
He ain't had to do that. You just sit there and look smart.
I'm gonna call it right here on the show. Cleveland Browns would be second in the AFC North.
No,
ain't no way.
No, but who's starting quarterback?
You talking about Steelers, Ravens, and Cincinnati?
They'll be on top of Cincinnati, and they'll be possibly on top of.
No, Cincinnati. Cincinnati is always going to be.
Sorry, Robbie.
Cincinnati's going to always.
I don't see it.
I see second.
We're talking about coaches.
You're talking about 0-16.
Marvin Lewis has been a hot seat this season.
0-16.
He wins. Like that's why I say Cincinnati is that team. Long as Marvin Lewis there, they'll do something to keep his job.
Like the longest tenured coach in the NFL.
Yeah,
they've 20 years.
They've missed the playoffs with the past 2 or 3 years now. 3 years, and he hasn't won the playoff game the whole 20 years almost that he's been there. So, I mean,
all right. So,
now.
who is your Super Bowl
predictions? Let's do it.
I got Saints versus Chiefs.
I had
Who?
Saints and Chiefs. That's
St.
might
Louis
be a good
and-
one.
No, the
I
Saints.
started to have
The
the
Saints.
Saints.
I don't see the Saints game.
I started to have the Saints and the Texans, and then I looked over the Saints because I really like Alvin Kamara and the running back duo, Mark Ingram.
Ingram, yeah.
He's suspended a couple of games.
Yeah.
And then, but I just think they're a little bit old. They play in a tough division, so I've got the Falcons and the Steelers. With actually the Falcons winning, even though I know Gary's going to get the big head.
All
But
right.
Julio Jones and Matt Ryan both with big deals now. 2 years ago, they should have closed the deal. They couldn't get it done. They'll close the
Write
deal
this
this
down,
year.
Robbie. Panthers, Patriots.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
The Patriots will make the Super Bowl.
It will be a rematch of the prior year, back to the Falcons and the Patriots. This time the Falcons will come out on
I don't
top.
see the Falcons doing it.
I don't see
They
it.
got a different OC
I
now.
don't see the Eagles making it bad. The Cowboys, they went 0-4 for preseason, so that's something to come. I know, what's it? The QB didn't play.
I hate that.
I'm shocked I didn't pick the Rams.
The
After all the
Rams.
offseason moves they made.
The Rams will be
They
going
made a lot
down
of moves
this
last
year.
year too. They didn't really go too far.
I mean,
I just want to see I just want to see if my boy AP, however AP production is, Washington goes because that'll help Alex Smith.
Yeah.
Was it about 34 now? That's old for a running
I
back.
think he's done.
Everybody on the table, Gary, Robbie, me, Brandon, and Opie. We see you
Yo.
next Tuesday night. And make sure once again tune in Friday night.
I'll-
for our last weekend day.
I'll-